This is Dr. Jiu Jitsu, your go-to podcast for combat sports, military performance, injury prevention, and treatment. Now here's your badass host, Dr. Megan Jimenez.
Bow to your sensei!
Okay, I'm here with Paige Ivette Clymer, originally Boras, but married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here. Paige is a black belt in Jiu Jitsu. She trains here at Legion American Jiu Jitsu in San Diego, visiting and super excited to be able to speak with you. Who's number one vet? Which we're going to talk about that match because that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Multiple time IBJJF champion, no-gi silver medalist, pan silver medalist. Every belt, you were pretty much getting gold or some kind of medal. You were just owning it. And now black belt, doing great things. ADCC Open, double gold. And hopefully we'll see you at ADCC sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
Yeah. Thanks for being willing to talk to me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to do this. I just have known you for a while now. You've been with me through a lot, so I'm grateful that we're doing this.
Same. Yeah, I guess we could talk about that first then. If you're opening up with it. How we kind of met. 2021, I came here. Actually, I'm here for an orthopedic conference. Same orthopedic conference I came for 4 years ago, our academy meeting. And of course, I came by here then. And I didn't know who you were at the time. And I knew Keenan's name. And that was a long time ago. And like, now I come for you. But then it was like, Keenan kind of brought me in the door. And he wasn't here that time. And I was like, well, these other people are so great. And we were both purple belts training. And then you tore your ACL soon after that. And you gave me a call. So let's talk about that injury first then.
Yeah, so I was injured back in October 2022. I had surgery in February. So I had to wait about 4.5 months until I got the surgery. I was in Pittsburgh. I taught a seminar, my very first one. And I was on a high. I was so excited. I flew home without getting any sleep because I had to wake up super early to get to the airport. And I flew 5 hours. And then I was super anxious to get back to J-Flow's class because I was, just trying to get back into competition and just trying to compete as much as I could. But J-Flow is just amazing. So I really wanted to be in his class. And my training partner, it was like the first regular round of the day. And I shot in on a single leg. He spun out really quick, and then he shot in on a single leg and then got to the rear body lock. And from the rear body lock, he did a Taniotoshi. It's a judo takedown where you collapse behind the near side leg and then you kick out the far leg. Because I didn't know how to properly defend the rear body lock, I had my hands on his hands. He was able to jump on my leg.
Yeah. And I remember you sending me the video when it happened, and he kind of jumped on the outside of your leg, causing the knee to buckle in, which in orthopedics we call valgus. It's just kind of the direction that the knee goes, almost like bow legs is what I equate it, what I tell people. So creating that valgus force stresses your MCL on the inside of the knee, and then what you tore, your ACL, is what took the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But what have you learned now? You said you learned how to defend this properly because when you're holding the hands, your legs are a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, from the rear body lock, I always thought that you're just supposed to use your alligator hands and start, pushing your hips forward to break their grip. And that's not the case. You're actually supposed to bend at the hip. You're supposed to do a hip hinge and then keep your hands on either sides of you and making sure like you post on their knees so they can't bring their knees close to you. So after my surgery, I got the call to teach at the same seminar where I had came from before I was injured, and I made sure to teach that to the women and say, like, this is how I was injured a year ago, and this is how you can, protect yourself.
Yeah, I think protecting yourself, super important, and also the technique, right? Not jumping into your partner's side of your knee, because I teach that. After you showed me the video, I make sure to teach that to my students when I'm teaching. I'm like, listen, we don't jump into the side of a person's knee, because it happens too when somebody might be posting up on a leg, maybe on the other knee, and people will jump into that leg. Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot too. Right.
I know, I've seen that actually just last week. I saw that. That round that we had was pretty aggressive. Yeah. We were going at it, and so, no, he didn't mean to do it. No one means to injure anybody, but it was just something that I had to go through. I'm really grateful I went through it now.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because then I tore my ACL, a year later, and it was my fault and not tapping in time, not realizing what kind of a position I was in. And I called you and I was like, I'm devastated, right? And so it's so funny, like, and you're not an orthopedic surgeon. Like, you called me because I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I called you because you went through it. Yeah. Right? And that's something to say for that.
I know. I think it's not trauma bonding, if you will, but it's kind of trauma bonding because like we're going through it at the same time.
And you think you're not going to make it through. You're like, I'm not getting back to jiu-jitsu. I'm done. Like, dramatic, right? I'll never walk again. Like, all this stuff. And I'm an orthopedic surgeon. Like, I know I'm going to be okay. Yeah. But it's when you're going through it.
It's just a long road.
It's mental. So we talked about the recovery process, or even before surgery. How important was it to do the rehab before?
Oh, it was super important. It was just making sure that my quad was really strong because I did opt for, or I wanted to go with the quad tendon graft. So we focused a lot on strengthening of the quads as well as hamstring and glutes, because when you go through the surgery, there's atrophy. So he really wanted to focus on like building that muscle, making sure it was strong, but all while doing that, like I was just really processing like that I was going to have surgery. And, you know, so he was also my physical therapist, but he was like my therapist, you know,
they
helping me through. So
I think people try to rush into ACLs too quickly because everybody wants their ACL done like the second it gets injured. But what I tell my athletes is, I want you coming to surgery, the day of surgery, asking me why we're even doing it, because you feel that good, right? I need you to be, it's like an oil change before a road trip. You have to have your oil filled before you go. And if we are doing it too quickly and your knee hasn't settled down and you're not strong enough, I'm causing a second trauma, opening up a knee, right? Yeah. And so being strong just helps your recovery so much more right after.
It's very true. I think that was like a really key detail as to why I healed so fast. But while I was recovering, J-Flow would not let me train.
I love that.
He wouldn't let me train for 9 months. Like before this podcast, I went through my phone and looked at my photos and I was like, did I train like at 6 months? Did I train at 7? And no, I didn't. When I looked back, I literally waited until 9 months to get back on the mat and actually move. Yeah. Because then I was like, my doctor was like, okay, you're ready to go. You got the clear. Yep. But I was running. Yep. I was doing sprints, like trying to work up to that by jogging first, then running, but doing a lot of hopping movements and the elevated toe or elevated heel.
Squats.
Like, yes. Yep. And knees over toes style. But
I did all his stuff too. Yeah. I loved his stuff in the recovery.
So I didn't do his stuff per se. I did whatever my PT said, but I really followed the course. Like I made sure, because I wasn't training where I was training like 6 days a week, 1 day off, training multiple times a day. I needed another like physical outlet. So going to PT and then also working on my own 3 days a week. So all in all, it was 4 days a week of, lifting. I gained like 10 pounds of muscle just by doing that. So I've definitely gotten heavier since in the injury, but then I also, put on some muscle, so I feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're way stronger than before it, probably because you've learned all these new techniques.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Getting back, when did you think that you were going to get back? Like originally you had told me you thought, because you were on Google and seeing some people have done this.
3 months. I thought it was like the 3 to 6 months is when you were going to start feeling good. 3 months was like unheard of. But 6 months was like a little more like, I really thought that the 6 month was going to be my time frame, and it just was not. Like the bending of the knee, it was, I don't know, it just did not feel, it felt stable. Yeah. But it just felt like there was not inflammation, but it just
stiff.
Yes.
Still stiff.
And weak. Like how I knew like I wasn't ready was my quad was not growing. Like it was still atrophied. And I was like, how is this even a thing? And so my PT did a lot of scraping, especially on the scar.
You can't rush biology.
No.
You can't rush healing. And really it takes about 2 years for your new graft to heal in fully. But we can't hold athletes for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
If we could have a perfect world and 2 years could just go like this, be like, let's wait 2 years when our body has accepted it. Yeah. Like the vascularization, so vessels come into the graft, but we can't do that. So 9 months to a year is when we say it's pretty safe as long as you're strong enough. But really, it takes a year. It's a year process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even just after the 2 years, like my quad is actually looking normal.
Yeah.
2 years it's taken. So
It's a journey.
it is.
So let's talk about your Who's Number One battle, because I enjoyed the shit out of that thing. Like, I loved watching it.
Yeah.
I think I texted you right after and I said, you need to teach guillotine escapes, because it was so tremendous. Like, you could tell you had just prepared for what she was going to throw at you. But talk about that. I want to talk about what you do pre-fight, what your routine is, and how you kind of handle and come in with poise, the anxiety coming up to the match, and how you deal with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, leading up to the match, I was really excited to train. Like, I was like, I need to train. I need to do everything that I need to do. Like, I need to train with the biggest guys. Sloan was making me roll with these big dudes that were just like blue belts, purple belts. And I was just getting like flatlined. Like, he was making me train until I was like grunting on the mat. And like, there would be days when we didn't have enough space and Sloan would block off the area and be like, guys, I need you to move. Paige, you got a match coming up. And, you know, all of that pressure was a lot.
Yeah.
You know, leading up to that. Like,
what was the weight difference?
Just 10-pound difference. I was 176 and then she was 186.
And so Sloan had you rolling with these big, like, 200.
He had me rolling with these big boys, like 210, and they were like trying to squeeze me, hold me down. He had me do like shark tanks, but it was because he knew that I was fighting a 15-minute match and that I was going to have to go as hard as I could the entire way, unless I subbed her. And then we also went over the guillotine escape like that day. Like, while we were warming up, I used him to warm up. And he was like, okay, this is how you're going to get out of the guillotine escape. And we knew that this was going to happen, that she was going to guillotine me, but I didn't know to that degree. But when she first sunk in the anaconda choke, she had the front headlock and then switched to an anaconda. I was able to get back up to my feet, but because Sloan taught me the guillotine escape, where you fall to your back and then post on their hips, I think that's how they're unable to keep you down and control you. So yeah. So that really did help out. But the night before that match, like, I could not sleep. I had the worst time sleeping. I was up every hour, every 2 hours. Like, I was crying, telling Sloan, I can't do this. I'm going to have to fight this girl. I was like, babe, just go back to bed. You're fine. But I was like literally having panic attacks. And I think, you know, maybe that's what people go through when they go to war. You know, they just can't sleep. They know they're going to go to war, and like, I just do jiu-jitsu. You know, I don't even have to, I'm not going to get concussed.
You're not typically going to die.
Yes. Right. And so, yeah, that's something that I'm still working on. I don't know. I mean, that's my first Who's Number One match. So maybe there was some anxiety and, you know, some anticipation leading up to that. But I am trying to figure out, like, I don't know if I need to get hypnotized, you know, so I can just settle down.
Yeah.
I really think that that's kind of what I'm needing, because I've done meditation and prayer and affirmations, and it's just, I think when you get in that headspace of like anxiety and you feel it, you almost are like in a hole and you're like, oh no. So I think where I fell into my training, I just focused on just keep going to training, keep training as much as possible, try to keep learning, try to keep training hard. And I was running hills a lot. I was doing it like twice a week, and that helped as well. But man, I was so gassed in that fight.
Yeah.
I got gassed out at the 10.
You didn't look it.
The minute 10, I was like, I was taking Hoffa's back, and they said like I was looking at my corner laughing, but no, I was really
You were breathing,
gasping for air, like that, like trying to suck in as much air as possible.
No, it was fun though. That was a good match. It was super fun. As far as the anxiety goes, I think it happens. It's like, I remember in school when I would just do a presentation, I get so nervous, and my parents used to say, it's important to you. And so that's the way I look at it, but it doesn't mean it may go away, right? It's just what are we going to do about it? And it's hard. It's something that I haven't mastered, and I think we probably spent a long time doing it.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure that out, because as a coach now, I'm trying to help people compete. And if I am going through that anxiety, like tornado, how am I going to help people to like pull themselves out of that?
Yeah.
You know,
And that's a good point, because when I coach, I kind of try to go through the game plan and keep them distracted almost.
Yes.
But that's the best I can offer right now.
When you go home and you go to bed, and you're like, I can't even sleep.
Yeah.
But when it is match day, though, like, because I'll feel it in my stomach, those like butterflies, I do some Tumo breathing.
Nice.
So I'll do like 30 hyperventilations, and then I hold my breath for 2 minutes. And so that kind of calms me down, and I just do 2 rounds of that. But I kind of look crazy because people, if they don't know what it is, they're just like, what the heck's this girl doing?
Yeah.
But it really calms me down, and breath work is really important when you're fighting or
I agree.
competing.
But anything. Sometimes I'll go into a hard surgery and I sit outside the room, like before I go to scrub my hands, and I breathe, I visualize the case, right? Because I've already done that. Just like matches, right? Visualization before, seeing the best possible outcome, you know, and just that's what I do with surgery too. And I breathe and I control my heart rate, control my mind, focus on my breath.
Yeah.
And go.
That's so funny you say that you visualize, because Dr. Lucius, he actually told me he used to fight MMA, and he said what would help him when he had anxiety was he would visualize. So for Pan Ams, when I placed second in 2024, I was visualizing the whole time. And I went there alone. I went to compete alone, and I had no coach, and I got guillotined. And I didn't visualize that. So like me and visualization, I'm like, I don't know if I need to do that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, it was like something I was like, oh, I believe this. I need to do this, you know? But then when you're fighting someone, I don't know, there were so many other factors that could have played into that, but I really just think it needed to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think visualizing, you go in more positive.
Yes.
You go in a better mindset. That
I
with
was
the breath
positive.
Work. And I mean, shit happens, right? So and then when I got heel hooked and tore my ACL, it was like my first big loss, my first big injury. I was traumatized. And then I did the same thing. Visualizing doesn't work. But then I started visualizing other outcomes too, and then what I was going to do. So now when I prep for matches, like my awareness is so important, even rolling. Like, if your heel gets caught and you cannot slip it, you're tapping, right? And that's an outcome too. It's not the best possible, and I try to keep visualizing the best possible. But what am I going to do in these other situations? Am I going to let it break again? No, hopefully not, right?
Yeah.
And so I teach people now too, like have that awareness, because if you don't and you just think you're going to win, bad things can happen because you don't believe it's happening. So
but I think things have to happen to you in order for you to learn, right?
Fortunately.
Yeah. It's like the price we pay. I don't think we're sitting and playing chess, you know, like I don't know if things get heating. Yeah. But I really love jiu-jitsu. Like even when I was out and I couldn't train, I wanted to train so bad. And so
I was here and I'm in a shoulder sling right now because I had surgery. And I'm watching, and I posted on Instagram, and my buddy's like, isn't that worse, just watching? I was like, no, because I'm here, I'm involved. Right after my ACL, I was teaching 4 weeks out in a brace.
Yeah.
So could I knee cut? No. I had like 0 to 90 degrees of motion, but I was like, then you're going to knee cut this way, guy, right? But I just had to be there. I had to be around it, you know? It's the community. And it's what brought us together. It's what brought so many people. It's a beautiful community.
Like, what are the chances I get to hang out with a surgeon, you know?
Well, and I'm hanging out with like a stud jiu-jitsu athlete. All right, let's talk about what are your best tips for injury prevention, you think, if you had to talk to people about how to train safer, smarter, and prevent some injuries?
So I think definitely just being aware of like how you can get injured, because I think people go into training and they just don't know, like from a stand-up position, if someone grabs your collar and they go for an osotogari and they're not in line hip to hip, your knee could suffer, right? Or if someone gets a rear body lock, they could jump onto your knee. Also heel hooks, leg entanglements, but just kind of ask your instructor, like if you don't want to get injured, learn about that. Like what positions can I get injured from? And then I also think, you know, while you're rolling too, especially coming up in the rinks, I don't think it should be a death match because you don't really know what's going on. So I always bring up Bruce Lee because he always says like, be like water. Right. And I think once you get to that black belt or that brown belt position, like you kind of already are, you know what's happening. The timing is already there. But as a white belt, they say like slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I think that should be what white belts think of. slow is smooth. When I first started, I was doing everything slow. And then when I would go to competition, I would try to hit it fast.
Right.
But I think so many people, especially while they're training on the mat, they like think that the training room is meant for like them to be a competitor, or they compete with their training partners. And that's where the injuries come, when they bring their ego, or they're not having a good day and they need to get out the stress, and usually they get injured.
And we talked about that, people that are coming not to compete, but to blow off stress from the workday, right? They just worked at a desk all day and they have all this energy. Or like the 6 a.m. class where I train, it's like a lot of people are in the military and we're about to go to work and do whatever, and everybody just has so much energy to blow out. And that's how injuries happen, because people aren't being smooth. I think you guys are really fortunate with J-Flow, because just watching, whenever I watch him, it is that just smooth. Even when like somebody throws him, and I know he probably allows it because he's just a savage. The way he lands, like I never was taught that, right? So like I'm over here landing on my face and things because I wasn't taught how to maybe tuck the way that he does or expect what's coming next on my feet, right? So you guys are super lucky here.
It's just like, if you're gonna do takedowns, you should know how to do the takedowns. You shouldn't just do one takedown or drill one takedown and then be like, okay, I'm ready to do takedowns. Definitely learn some safe takedowns, learn how to protect yourself, learn how to ukemi, which is break fall. I had trained for 3 years. I won a purple belt world champion, and I did not know how to break fall. Because at my gym, we never did any break falls. When you do no-gi, you kind of fall on your wrist to elbow to shoulder. So it's more of like you fall, it's like a dance, if you will. But, you know, in order to protect yourself, you have to slap the mat. So you transfer the energy from your lungs to your hand. So yeah, I think learning how to properly fall, not, you know, falling like with your arm extended.
Lots of shoulder dislocations, elbow dislocations from landing on your arm like that. It happened in, what was it, ADCC 2 years ago, Nick Margali, right? Landing on his hand, a shoulder dislocation. Like
that was crazy. But that's because we're taught to, even J-Flow will teach this. And it's like, because he knows you can break fall. Break fall is more so in the gi when you slap the mat, because of that ricochet with the gi, you can just like really slam someone. But in no gi, it's more of like you want to continue that energy, so you want to fall and then like keep
melt.
Like
melt and roll.
And so I think gyms need to do a better job on teaching that. But what we do at Legion, we literally have a sign up that says we have 4 techniques that are banned. And
what techniques?
Jumping close guard, the Tani Otoshi, the scissor leg takedown. And then,
I mean, those are the main ones, I would think.
Yeah, I think there's one more. I need to give me some time. I need to think about it.
It'll come to you. Yeah. Whenever I sign up for a tournament and it's like everything is legal, like except slamming or something, I'm like, okay, what about scissors and jumping guard? Legal. The last time I competed, I was like, I swear, if somebody jumps guard, I'm gonna punch him in the face. Because I've seen some knees blow out bad. And like jumping guard, I don't think is necessarily bad. It's how you do it. Same thing, scissor takedown. If you push into the knee in that valgus stress, which is what people usually do, they go flying straight into the leg versus tucking the knee behind the knee and bending the knee, right, front to back. So, but in the heat of the battle, like I've seen it, I saw it, Canuto does it a lot, and I see him do it, and every time I cringe. Because I'm like, oh God, something's going on with the knee.
I know, it's one of those things that like, when you compete, you have to be ready.
You have to be aware.
And know that could happen. When that girl jumped close guard on me with the guillotine at pants, my knee kind of buckled a little bit, my ACL. So I do kind of have some pain, like every now and again it'll get aggravated just right under my patella.
Backwards, right? Because when people jump guard, they jump into the quads, like just above the knee versus into the hips.
So then your knee kind of like...
Correct. Well, I like that you guys banned those. That's really great.
Yeah, I know. It's just because it's just not worth it.
So one more thing kind of before we close out. You and I always talk about, like, because I always say I'm getting older and, you know, and I have more fear of injury now that I've had 3 orthopedic procedures. I'm like, man, and I feel like I'm getting older, but then you get mad at me. And you're like, no, we're talking about this. So let's talk about it, because you're 32, I'm 36. And you just have this mind that's like, we're going to go hard, like not hard, but we're going to get out there and be confident. And I have a fear of re-injury a lot of times.
Yeah.
So help me be like, okay, I'm only 36 instead of I'm old and 36, you know?
Yeah. So honestly, I think age is just a number, right? I feel like old is like 60, you know, when you're like, things start catching up, like, you know, the collagen starts to leave your body. But when I think about training, and especially getting to my later years, you really have to it's not about like finding the right training partners. It's just knowing how to exchange the energy properly. And if someone grabs me like way too aggressively and I'm not in for all that, I will literally stop the round and be like, can you settle down? Or if they keep grabbing me, I already know what they're gonna do. So I'm just beating them. I'm just defending the whole time. I just defend. Even if they're trying to face crank me without any hooks, you know, that's happened to me. And then after, I'll let them know, because people that usually, if I grab them gently and then they grab me aggressively, they're usually a little bit lower in the belt rank. They're still learning that. They're not thinking of it like how we think of it. So whenever that happens, I usually I'll tell them after, when they ask me, they say, is there anything I can work on? And I said, yes, like the training room should be where you train and you take care of your training partners. And what I mean by that is constantly just try to move. Yeah. Like, we're in here to get a good cardio workout. You can be rigid when you compete. You can be rigid when you are lifting. But when you're in here, like, you have some training partners that you can be rigid with and like try and hold, but then the majority of your rounds should be like water. You should be really trying to move as much as possible.
Like more cerebral. So you're thinking, you're trying to play chess. Right?
Yes. And yes.
And you're trying to checkmate people with your movements rather than your strength.
Exactly.
And agility.
And I mean, strength is a skill.
Of course.
But there's a time and a place to it.
Like, it doesn't have to be 100%.
Yes, there's training partners that you can do that with. But then it's also really, really helpful for you to get those rounds in with the people that you already know you can beat up, and just let them try to beat you up.
Yeah.
Right? Just let them do their thing, or just beat them to it. You know, I think that's how I roll. And I think when I competed against Hoffa, like, you could see that I'm not super rigid. I'm very like flowy and in and out of things. But I'm gonna work on my being rigid.
You looked phenomenal.
Rigidity.
I loved that match.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I was so impressed with your cardio too. I think I had just competed and my cardio is what killed me. And I was like, damn, like I didn't prepare enough and I know what I need to do.
Well, I think what it is like, okay, definitely putting aside time to like maybe do 150 burpees.
Yeah.
Okay, or doing some hill sprints at least once a week.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to start feeling good. Then pushing yourself in training, right?
Were you doing 15-minute rounds?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Like, what? Like, even after, I was like, why did I not do a 15-minute round? Yeah. But I think what really helped me and kind of made me feel good, because I competed at Worlds and I competed against Nadia Franklin in the absolute. And they always start for IBJJF, they start the absolute first, and then they get to your weight division. And that first match of the day, it was like at 9 a.m. and I got so gassed. I could not even sit up. I was laying down. I thought I had blood in my throat. Her coach walked by and he was like, "You good?" And I rolled my eyes. I was like, why is this guy asking me if I feel good right now?
Of course,
like,
I'm not good.
I just had a freaking war with your girl. But then my next matches, I felt great. So I think how you're going to work on your cardio too. I have not a massage therapist. He's a sports therapist who helps me sometimes with some body work. He said that when you're going to compete and you do your warm up, make sure you warm up 30 minutes before your match, and then make sure you're walking on the mat and you're still sweating.
Yeah, keep moving.
Yeah, because if you're not sweating, you're letting your body know like it's time to relax, rest, and digest. You know,
and that's a problem with a lot of tournaments, right? You warm up and then you get bullpen or wherever you are on the stage, behind stage, and then they're like, oh, this match went long, or this match went quick, and then you didn't warm up and you're getting rushed.
Yeah,
it's really hard to time it.
Yes, but I think that's why we see a lot of female or male competitors. They're like jumping on the side of the mat. It's not to like make their opponent, it's not to like, what is it called when you
Intimidate?
But yeah, I'm not trying to intimidate my opponent. I'm just trying to be myself. And if they get intimidated, then I'm cool. Like, I'm like, okay, this is great.
Yeah, I'm warm.
Yeah, but definitely keep moving. Make sure you're sweating. I think it'll make a difference because after that 15-minute match with Hoffa, I didn't have it in my throat. I wasn't feeling gassed. I was gassed, but I wasn't feeling like overheated and...
Yeah. It looked like you guys had fun out there.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to run it back. We better.
I can't wait.
I know.
All right. So last fun question. You love cooking. I love cooking. Well, actually, my fiance cooks now. I don't cook anymore.
That's great.
I know. Well, his cooking's way better than mine. Mine's like, this looks like a good protein, some eggs, and then I just mush it all together. And I get my nutrients. His is like perfectly plated. Oh, yeah. It's really good. So I don't cook anymore.
Wow.
I like good food.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite food?
Okay, chicken tikka masala. That is like, it's so good just because of all the spices and then the heavy cream. And chicken. I love chicken, but if I have to, like, if we're talking like animals, I really like a good venison, like a backstrap.
Nice.
But I don't have access to that. I don't hunt. My husband doesn't hunt, and
I'm a ribeye girl.
yeah, I love ribeyes.
Oh my God, that's my jam.
I know.
And Terry's major, which is actually like a muscle kind of from the back.
Okay.
That's just kind of below the rotator cuff muscle.
Wow.
And I don't know what it is about it. I guess it's not used as much. I don't know. It's super tender.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you can get a Terry's major, I'm telling you.
Babe, that's honestly, I love meat.
Yeah.
So, but I do love fruit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were telling me you don't really cut weight. You fight at your weight. And so what are you eating to fuel your workouts? What are you eating to fuel your competition?
So I'll get up, I drink some electrolytes, some extra water, and then I go for my coffee. And then I'll usually eat like some eggs, like hard-boiled eggs. And then I'll have like a slice of toast, or I like rice cakes and I doctor that up, or I'll just go for yogurt. But with my coffee, I always put protein in there, especially leading up because I know I need more protein. It's kind of hard to eat, but when you overtrain, it's hard to eat sometimes. So I have to focus on like, when I do eat a lot. But some days if I just make sure to have that protein because then I know I'm gonna hit my macros.
You're like tired and hungry and you don't know what is trumping what. So you got to get something.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I usually will eat like chicken or fish during the day. And then at night, I love red meat.
Nice.
So ground beef or steak, ribeyes. Ribeyes are our favorite. Yeah. But if my dying like wish is, or your death food, your last meal. Yeah. If you were to have the last meal.
Last supper.
Yeah, it would definitely be venison. Nice. It's just so good.
It is good. Meat's good.
Yeah, meat is just, I know,
so good.
All of it.
We don't talk about vegetables. Yeah. I don't eat many vegetables anymore, like carrots here and there. But
I like carrots. I do some potatoes. I like bell peppers as well. But since I'm not growing it, and we don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what's put on top of it.
Farmers markets. I was telling you, I don't go to the grocery store much anymore. It's farmers markets.
I know.
Local stuff.
Dude, I'm training so much.
But I have a freezer outside. And I just butchered my first cow with my hand surgery partner. So I took like 200 pounds of meat and put it in the freezer.
My God,
so we're set right now. Yeah.
How much is that?
It depends where you get it from. Yeah. I actually don't know because you can buy a full cow, or you can go in on a share and you can buy like half a cow. I would think like $2,000 if you're getting like maybe a quarter or a half, but it really depends on where you're getting it from, who the farmer is. It's going to be more expensive because that's their baby. Like they raised it, they know exactly what they're feeding it.
I love that.
Yeah. I just got lucky because it was my partner and the cow, like it was their time to go. And they're like, just give us extra hands and then we'll give it to you for like pretty cheap. I said, say less.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So try and do that. Try and at least find a farm. And it seems like a lot of money, but you are saving when you buy in bulk. Like it's a lot up front.
Yeah.
But then you put it in a freezer in your garage.
I know.
And you eat for like a year.
That's honestly so good. That's really what I want to do.
Yeah. I know. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with me. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay. Yeah. So I train at Legion American Jiu Jitsu and their social media. They are on Instagram at Legion AJJ. And then you can also find me at Paige Ivette, so PAIGE_IVETTE on Instagram. And that's where I post like all of my technique videos and, my highlights. So
yeah, they're dope. Back step one you posted. And then I got to be here for one of them today.
I know.
I was running around like a lunatic and I just was like, oh, they're filming.
I know. Sometimes I think that I make a technique up and then I'm like, wait, okay, let me look it up. And then I find it and I'm like, okay, I didn't make it up.
Because you're trying to name it after yourself.
I know. I don't want to name it after myself. I would want to name it something like
after your dog.
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thanks again. I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Or I appreciate you coming on the show.
I hope we do this again.
We will.
I know. I'm excited.
An Ironic Media production. Visit us at ironickmedia.com.